Today's topic is operation modes. What is this operation mode? So, for example, in your organization, what is the most used thing? What you do regularly? Read operations or write operation? Which one is more? Read operations are more or write operations are more in any organization? Any guesses?
Read operations.
Read operations.
Read
Read,
operations
read
are more.
operations.
I'll give you an example. If you want to purchase a mobile of 10,000 rupees from Amazon, what we do generally, we log in into Amazon. Okay, who will give login? Your developer process when it comes to SAP, and you search for the mobiles, different companies mobiles with your specifications, this RAM, this processor, and the storage capacity, everything, and you will compare all the mobiles within that price range of 10,000 rupees, and you'll compare everything. Finally you take a decision. Generally I do like that. If you are rich kid, you directly log into the system and select one mobile and buy. In general I'm talking, but we do like that. All these things are what? Read operations. When you are booking the mobile, that one only write operation. So what you do more, read more or write more? You have seen some 50 mobiles, 50 different companies mobiles, different models of different companies, and finally you choose one. That one mobile you booked, that is write operation. All these things, whatever you do from the login to booking that mobile, which is read operation. So which work process? Mostly used work process, dialogue work process. You do more readings, right? The same way, every organization in their business hours need more dialogue work processes. More dialogue work processes. In companies, what we do means, if a long running jobs are there, some housekeeping jobs will be there in SAP. Housekeeping jobs means there will be so much unnecessary data is generating in your database day to day in your business. Your spool request, you are printing, whatever you give print, the logs will be generated. The print is successful. Some above downs will be there, system logs will be there, background job logs will be there. Like that, so much unnecessary data is generating into your database in day-to-day life. So SAP has provided some background jobs to delete this unnecessary data. That jobs and few background jobs which are related to your business, that also we run in non-peak hours. Means we used to run these type of long running jobs in night hours. So which work process is mostly used in night hours, non-business hours? Background work process. At a daytime, dialogue work process. In a night time, background work process. You are clear with this? Now you are having some less hardware resources. You are having, by default, when you install your system, by default you got some 23 work processes. 23 work process, 8 dialogues, 8 backgrounds, 5 updates, 2 spools. The total number of work processes is 23. You need more dialogues in a daytime. You need more backgrounds in a night time. What you do according to your knowledge? So when you come to office in the morning, you know how to change dialogue work process. We have one parameter, r display slash wp underscore number underscore dia. The dialogue work process value is 8. I made that dialogue work process value to 14. And other work process, what? Background, r display slash wp underscore number underscore btc. That work process value to 2. I don't need that much backgrounds in a data. These two parameters are static parameters or dynamic parameters? Yesterday we have seen work process parameters are what? Static parameters. So you have to restart your application server. Okay, I restarted. When you are leaving to the home, you need more backgrounds at night. So what you do? Same. Go to that parameter and change that dialogue work process to 4 and background work process to 12. and again you have
I
to
will increase
restart it,
background, decrease,
and you
and
have to restart your server. Okay, fine. This is solving your problem. Why I am doing like this? I cannot increase dialogues and backgrounds. Why? I have some hardware resource limitations. I don't have sufficient RAM, sufficient processor. If I have sufficient RAM and sufficient process, just I can increase dialogues and backgrounds. But here the total number of work process is what? 23 only. Within that 23 only,
23
I am adjusting the work process by changing the parameters. Is it a good idea?
according to my usage.
Wait, is it a good idea?
It's a good. It's good idea.
Good idea. But
Yes.
in a real-time scenario, is it possible to restart your application servers daily twice in the morning once, evening once? Will your Amazon,
No.
Flipkart, and Yahoo, your YouTube, whenever you are trying, it is giving you the logins, right? Always the servers are up and running. Is it possible in a real-time scenario? No.
In work
So
time, it's not possible.
SAP has come up with a concept called operation mode. What is this operation mode means? You need not to manually change this work process type. You have to assign the time. For example, your morning hours are busy, peak hours are morning 9 to evening 6. At that time, this dialogues will convert, this 8 will convert into 14, and this 8 will convert into 2. And from evening 6 o'clock to morning 9 o'clock, they will convert to like this, more backgrounds and less dialogues. That is what called as
So we
operation
have
mode.
to set the time.
Wait, you have to set the time. The definition of operation mode is changing the work process type from one to another. One to another means dialogue to background, background to dialogue. According to the timetable assigned, whatever the timetable you assigned, dynamically of an instance, dynamically, remember this. Till now we are doing manually. Manually we are going to RZ10 and RZ11, we are changing and we are restarting the application servers. If you configure operation modes, you can change the work process type from dialogue to background, background to dialogue, according to the timetable, whatever time you have given. On that time, it is dynamically switching. That is what called as the operation mode. The definition of operation mode is changing the work process type from one to another according to the timetable assigned dynamically of instance is called as operation mode. If you configure these operation modes, you need not to change these parameters again and again, and you need not to do the restart. Just you need to create. For
Dynamically
example,
means we don't
wait,
need to restart.
wait, your system is working on instance profile. How your instance profile is configured, your system will behave like that, right? For example, in my instance, I am having 8 dialogues, 8 backgrounds, 5 updates, and 2 spools. The system, when you start your system, the system will configure 23 work process, 8 dialogues, 8 backgrounds, 5 updates, and 2 spools. Fine. The system will act like this only. What I am doing here, I am creating two another profiles. One profile is dialogue mode. You can give any name: dialogue mode, peak hours, business hours. Batch mode, non-peak hours, night hours, non-business hours, any name. And I configure in this, I configure 14 dialogues, 2 backgrounds, 5 updates, and 2 spools. In this, I configure 4 dialogues in night times, less dialogues, more backgrounds, and 5 updates and 5 spools. I give from 9 to 5, it will, this instance profile will behave like this dialogue mode instance profile. From evening 5 to morning 9, it will behave like this. Dynamically, you need not to switch, you need not to manually change the parameter values. If you configure operation mode, this instance profile will behave like this at business hours. This instance profile will convert as this at non-business hours. Clear? So when you configure this operation modes, the total number of work process is same. See, the total number of work process, I am not changing the total number of work process. The same 23 work process. If I can change the total number of work process, I need not to configure operation modes. I don't have sufficient resources. If I am having sufficient RAM and sufficient processor, then I'll simply I'll increase this dialog work process to 14, this background work process to some 12 or 14. That's it. I need not to configure operation mode also. It will serve with business hours. I'll be having enough dialogues. At non-business hours, I'll be having enough background work process. Generally, in organizations, the biggest organizations which are having more application servers, more hardware resources, they won't configure operation mode. Only few customers will configure operation modes. The small customers who are having less hardware configuration, they don't have that much big landscape. So in your lifetime, you may not get a chance to configure operation mode if you are working for biggest clients. Very few people will get a chance to configure operation modes, but this topic is very important. In interviews, you have to know this concept. Did you got the point what I am trying to say? You need not to change manually. If you configure operation modes, the system itself change that work process type from dialogues to backgrounds, backgrounds to dialogue whenever you can, according to your timetable assigned. Is it clear with everyone?
Yes, sir.
So here the total number of work process are same. I'm not changing the total number of work process. That 23 only. But I am changing work process type from dialogue to background, background to dialogue. And when you configure operation mode, remember few conditions are there. There should be no time gap. You should configure operation mode for 24 hours time frame. For example, from morning 9 to evening 5, I need more dialogues. From evening 7 to morning 9, I need more backgrounds. From evening 6 to 7, I don't need anything. No, it won't accept. You have to choose one profile there. Whether it may be dialogue mode or batch mode, otherwise you can create a new profile and select there. That means if you configure operation mode, I'll show you that. If you configure operation mode, you should configure it for 24 hours. And one operation mode to another operation mode, how much time, minimum time gap required means 15 minutes. For each and every 5 minutes, you cannot switch operation modes. Dialogue mode for 5 minutes, batch mode for 5 minutes. No, at least the time gap between one operation mode to another operation mode is minimum 15 minutes. So for 1 hour, 60 minutes. For each and every 15 minutes, you can configure one operation mode. Means how much? For 1 hour, 4 operation modes per 1 hour. 24 into 4, 24 hours into 4. So you can configure max to max 96 operation modes. But nobody will configure 96 operation modes. Only 2 operation modes. Dialogue mode, batch mode, peak hours, non-peak hours, business hours, non-business hours. That's it. But there is a provision. If you want, you can change operation modes for each and every 15 minutes. But nobody will do that. Why I need to do that? At business hours, I need more dialogues. That's it. For that business hours, I have one profile. For non-business hours, I need more backgrounds. For that, I will create one profile. I'll use only 2 operation modes. Why I need to configure 96 operation modes, boss? The limitation is 96. The minimum time gap for one operation mode to another operation mode is 15 minutes. And there should be no time gap. Remember these things. And how many dialogues you should have? When you are configuring operation modes, what is the minimum requirement of dialogue work process? For example, night mode, I don't need any dialogue work process. If you see like that, the system won't accept. To do anything into the system, first of all, you have to log in into the system. For logging, who is working? Dialogue work process. That is the reason we should have at least 2 dialogue work process. We should have at least 2 dialogue work process. Means you cannot make this dialogue work process to 0. Why 2? You know the reason. One is for logins, another work process for assigning work to other work process. Assigning work to other work process. At the time of architecture, we discussed these 2 points. One is for login, another one is for assigning work to other work process. If you want to do some background job, first who will take care of that work? From SS server, dispatcher will give that work to dialogue. Then dialogue work process will call the background work process to process this job, right? So at least we should have 2 dialogue work process. So can I make dialogue work process 0? No.
No.
The minimum requirement is what? 2. At
2.
least you should have 2 dialogue work process, not less than that. You can increase. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you can increase, but you cannot decrease less than 2. At least minimum requirement is 2 dial work process. What about background work process? We can increase background work process, we can decrease background work process, we can even make it to 0. You are not having any background jobs to run, you can even make your background work process to 0. For example, during daytime, during your business hours, I don't need any background work process. If you think like that, you can make it as a 0 also. You can increase, you can decrease, you can even make it to 0, but it is not a good practice to make background work process 0 for so many things. For your transports, for your support package implementation, you will be having so many standard background jobs and housekeeping jobs which are scheduled in a business hours also. So you should not make it 0. Background work process, you can increase, you can decrease, you can even make it to 0. This is second condition. What about update work process? We can increase and decrease update work process. We cannot make it as a 0. We can increase update work process. While configuring operation modes, dialogues minimum 2, backgrounds you can increase and decrease. You can even make it to 0. And what about update? We can increase update work process. We can decrease update work process, but we cannot make it as a 0. For background, we can make 0, but update we cannot make it as a 0. Why? Everything you should know the reason. Why we can't make it as a 0 means you are configuring the operation mode. Configuration of operation mode. In between you are selecting this work process means configuration task is started. That configuration is what? Update only. Already your update work process is running. How can you make it as a 0? Right? You are configuring something means your update is working. How can make it 0? So you can increase the update work process, you can decrease the update work process, but you cannot make it as a 0. Spool work process. We can't change spool work process. Why? You tell me why. Do R&D and tell me why we can't change spool work process. Dialog work process, I told you. At least we should have 2 dialog work process. Background work process, we can increase, we can decrease, and we can even make it to 0. Update work process, we can increase, we can decrease, but we cannot make it as a 0. Spool work process, we can't change spool work process.
We
So we
use spool
configure
for printing
operation
code.
modes. To configure operation modes, the T code is, what T code we use? We use RZ04, and another T code is
SM53,
RZ03
SM63.
and SM63 also. Now we'll try to configure the operation mode. Okay, to configure operation modes, first log in into the system and hit RZ04. Here we have option of create operation mode. Okay, create operation mode. Give some meaningful naming convention. Can I give business hours? Business hours? Yes. So give one description. During peak hours means your business hours.
More
Same.
work.
Okay, I need another one. So create another one. Non-business hours. Give description. During
When work is less.
non-peak hours.
Peak hours.
Save. Like that you can create a number of operation modes. You can create any number, but I need only 2. So I am going with this 2. Now go to
What
second
about the
button.
timings, bro?
Okay, I'm coming. Just I have created this.
Okay.
Then I need to configure work process. In business hours, I need how many work process. In non-business hours, I need how many dialogues, how many backgrounds. I have to configure that. So first of all, I am creating operation mode. Then I am going to instances and operation modes. Second tab. Okay. Now go to settings. Based on current status, new instances, settings, based on current status, new instances generate. See this. Settings based on current status, new instances. Settings based on current status, new instances generate. So it will configure by default. For business hours, 10 dialogues, non-business hours 10. The total number is 19. How your instance profile is there? Same. If you observe your instance profile now, you'll be having same thing. 10 background, 10 dialogues, dialogues 10, background 6, spool 1, update 1, update 2, total is 19. If you observe here, the same thing. But I need somewhat different, right? For business hours, I need more dialogues. Okay, select that business hours. Now it will ask you to change. I want what in business hours, I need more dialogues. Now I am having 10 dialogue processes. Okay. When I add this plus, okay, I'll decrease this dialogue background work process. Can I decrease? 5. Okay. 4. 4 minus 3. Now I can increase the work processes. Increase dialogue 11. Okay. 12. 13. See, I can increase dialogue work process, I can decrease dialogue work process, I can even make it to 0 also. See, 2, 1. Can I make it to 0? Yes, I can make it 0. I can increase 2.
Can decrease.
I can decrease. I can even make it to 0. But I am going with 3 background work process. Okay. I am not going with 0. I need 3. Can I increase dialogues here? Yes, I can increase dialogue. So now dialogue work process is 13. Backgrounds are 3. Same. In a dialogue business hours, I am going with more dialogues and less backgrounds. When it comes to non-peak hours,
backgrounds.
non-peak hours, I need more backgrounds. So what I do, I'll increase the background work process. 7. See, when I say 7, it is 10 is 9. It is decreasing background dialogue work processes. 8. 7. Okay, I need, yes, backgrounds are more, dialogues are less. Can I make this update work process 0? See, server with update process started, number cannot be changed to 0. Your condition met, right?
0.
Can I increase that update work process? Yes, I can increase and I can decrease. I cannot make it as a 0. Spool work process, I can't change spool work process, I told you, right? The number of spool work process cannot be changed. So all conditions met. Now, okay, can I make dialogue work process less than 2? I'll check that also. 4, 3, 2. Can I make it as 1? No. At least 2 dialogues should be there. So I'm going with 4 to 5 dialogues. 4 and I'll make it as 5. All conditions met, right? In non-peak hours, non-business hours, I need more backgrounds and less dialogues. Okay, same. Is it fine? In business hours, I need more dialogues, less backgrounds. In non-business hours, I need less dialogues and more backgrounds. Now I am saving. Okay, save. Now, what is my business hours? What is my non-business hours? Go to your RZ04 screen, the main screen. Okay. RZ04 and assign the timetable. Where's my timetable? Operation mode. Timetable. Normal operation, exception. Normal means in hours. Exception means in minutes. I'm going with hours. Change. Select this morning 9 o'clock to evening 6 o'clock. It will change its color to black. Now assign. Which operation mode you will assign? Business hours. Okay. From evening 7 to morning 9 o'clock, I'll assign non-business hours. I'm giving a time gap here. Observe this. There is a time gap. Now I'll save what it says. See, a time gap was found between intervals. I told you, if you configure operation mode, you should configure it for 24 hours. No time gap should be there. So what I'll do, I'll go with, I'll assign one thing, non-peak hours only, non-business hours. Okay. Now configured operation mode for 24 hours. Says save. Your operation modes are saved. That's it. The configuration of operation mode is very simple. Now check. What is time now? 8:42. What is running? Peak hours or non-peak hours? Night 8 o'clock. Business hours or non-business hours?
Non-peak hours.
Non-business hours. Right? So, how to check work processes at application level?
SM50 transaction code.
SM50.
SM50.
50.
Okay.
Either SM and 66.
So, will they change it? Wait for 1 minute. Did anything change it here? Night time I need more dialogues. Oh, sorry, more backgrounds. But they haven't changed. Yes or no? The same old instance profile is running. Nothing is changed. Why it will change? You just now you configured. Okay, you put some alarm at morning 6 a.m. Now, will it ring immediately? No. The time has to come. So tomorrow morning 9 o'clock a.m. it will switch to dialogue mode, means business hours. Tomorrow evening 6 o'clock it will switch to batch mode. For example, in between, you at a daytime you need some more backgrounds. Some background jobs are there which are very much important to run at daytime. You need more backgrounds at that time. You can switch manually also. When you configure operation modes, it is not like that you cannot change. You can switch operation modes. How you switch? There is a T code called RZ03. RZ03. Select your instance. Choose operation mode. I need some non-business hours. Okay. More non-business hours. Control, switch operation mode on selected servers or all servers. I'm having only one server, so I'm going with all servers. Non-business hours. Can I switch to non-business hours? Yes. Now check what is happening at SM50. Did they change it? How many dialogues are there?
Yeah, change.
How many backgrounds are there?
Dialogues are
Dialogues
four.
are less, backgrounds are more. If you observe here, all are turned into backgrounds. VTC, 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 VTC. See, only 5 dialogues are there and 10 backgrounds. You can switch manually also. What is the T code for manually switching?
RZ03.
RZ03.
03.
Select your server. Choose operation mode.
Yeah.
So now I want business hours. Okay. Control, switch operation modes on all servers. Switch all servers to business hours. Yes. Now check in SM50. See, how many dialogues? They are slowly converting. 13. I need 13 at the dialogue daytime. Only 3 backgrounds. BTC, BTC, and BTC. Switch. This is how you need to switch your operation modes by using RZ03. To configure operation mode, RZ04. To switch operation mode, manually RZ03. Okay, I have one doubt. For example, night 12 o'clock, some background jobs are night 12 o'clock, which operation mode will work? Non-business hours. Non-business hours, right?
Non-business.
So I'll be having more background work process there. Fine. I'm having only 2 to 3 dialogue work process. Night 12 o'clock, I have started few background jobs, which are running till morning 9 o'clock. Still they are running. Not that background jobs are not yet completed. What happens in the morning 9 o'clock? Will they switch to dialogue or not? Technically, it
No.
has to switch. According to the settings, it has
According
to switch.
operation.
But the busy work process, the running work process won't change. Only the work process which are in waiting condition, that will switch. For example, this is running. It won't change. After finishing its work, it will change. When it comes to waiting state, it will change. Why? At 9:15, my job has to finish. From night 12 o'clock, it is running. It is running from past 9 hours. For this, the sake of this operation mode, if it is switched, that job will go into vain, right? That is the reason the running work process won't switch. After finishing its work, when they come into waiting state, then only they switch. Got the point? What is operation mode exactly? Changing the work process type from one to another according to the timetable assigned dynamically of instance is called as operation mode. Changing the work process type from one to another means from dialogue to background, background to dialogue. According to the timetable assigned, whatever the timetable you assigned, from morning 9 to evening 5 to again morning 5. Dynamically, not manually. Remember this. So if you do manually, you have to bounce back your application servers each and every time. But if you configure this operation mode, the work process are switching from dialogue to background, background to dialogue according to your time. It is switching dynamically. That is what we call it as operation mode. In this operation mode, that in business hours, in non-business hours, in your instance profile, the total number of work process should be same. Remember, if you choose RZ10 and choose instance profile and change the work process, change dialogue work process, you have to reconfigure your work operation modes. Remember that. Why? For example, your instance profile is this. This profile has to convert like this in the morning hours. This instance profile has to convert like this in the night hours. If you change this by using RZ10, RZ11, your condition is not meeting, right? X has to convert as Y, this X has to convert as Z. You are changing the X value. Then what happens? You have to delete your operation modes. You have to reconfigure your operation modes. This 8 will convert to 14. This 8 will convert to 4. That is the condition. You are changing this 8 to 7. So the condition is not matching. So your operation mode won't work. If you change anything in the instance profile when you configure operation modes, you have to reconfigure operation mode. You have to delete that operation modes and you have to reconfigure your operation mode. How to delete operation mode? How to delete? Now go in a reverse order. First delete the timetable. So see, RZ04. If I delete this operation mode, what it will say? See, select business hours, operation modes, delete. I am saying delete. Deletion is not possible. Operation mode is assigned to the timetable. First you have to delete the timetable here. At the time of configuring operation mode, last you have to configure a timetable. At the time of deletion, first you have to delete the timetable. So go to timetable, operation mode, timetable, normal operation, change, select your time from 9 to 6, delete assignment, and from 6 to morning 9, select that and say delete. Now save that empty timetable. When I save empty timetable, your operation mode is invalid. That's it. The timetable is empty. That is, no operation modes were assigned for 24 hours normal operation. Fine. Save empty timetable. Yes. Now go to RZ04 and delete your operation modes. Select this and say operation mode delete. Yes. Select this operation mode and say operation mode and say delete. This is how you need to configure operation, and you need to delete operation. Can we reconfigure the operation mode one more time? You guys have time?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
I have, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Simple. 2 minutes. Go to RZ04. Create operation mode. Give one name. Now I'll go with peak hours.
Operation mode.
Peak hours
Peak hours.
during
Business hours.
business hours.
Business
Okay, save.
Save.
Create another one. Non-peak hours.
and peak hours.
Non-business hours. This is
Non-business
description. Anything you can write. Somewhat meaningful. Okay, created. Then instance and operation modes. Go to settings. Based on current status, new instances,
New
generate.
instances.
It will
generate.
generate. Then select peak hours. Change it according to your requirement. I need more dialogues in business hours. So I'm going with. Sorry, I'm increasing my dialogue process here. Okay. I'll decrease first dialogue backgrounds, then I'll increase the dialogues. 3, 2. I'm going with the 2 backgrounds and 14 dialogues here. The total number of work process same. Remember, okay, same. For non-peak hours, I need more background work processes. 4, 5, 6, 7. More than dialogue I configure. Okay, 9. Okay, I'll go with 10. 10 backgrounds and 6 dialogues. Okay, save. Save. Now configure the time. Go to operation modes, the main screen, and assign the timetable. Normal operation, change, select any hours. You can select anything. Assign. It will show here. Peak hours. Okay. From evening 6 to morning 9. If you want, you can create another operation mode also. Not only 2. Lunch hours, anything. See. Your operation modes are configured. This is how you configure operation mode. How you delete? First go to timetable, delete the timetable, then come to this screen and select this and delete. Select this and delete. This is how you configure
Reverse order.
and delete operation modes. Any doubts here? And remember, important points are how many dialog work process you should have when you are configuring operation modes.
2 dialogue.
Minimum 2 dialog work process. Why? One is for login, another one is
In
for
another.
One is
assigning
for
work to other work process.
assigning work.
Background work process, you can increase and decrease background work process.
You
You
can
can even
increase,
make it to 0.
You
0.
can make it 0.
But it is not good practice to make background work process 0. Not only for background job scheduling, at the time of transportation, support package implementation, in the so many things we require background work process internally. For that reason, you should not make background work process 0. And update work process, you can increase and decrease, but you cannot make it as a 0. Why? While you are configuring operation mode means your updation is started. When update is started, you cannot make it as a 0. You can increase and decrease, you cannot make it as a 0. But for backgrounds, you can increase and you can decrease, you can even make it to 0. Spool work process, we can't change spool work process. And remember these points, there should be no time gap. Minimum time gap between one operation mode to another operation mode is 15 minutes. Per hour, you can configure only 4 operation modes. But nobody will configure operation modes for each and every 15 minutes. How I configured just now, that's how they configure. When you go for operation modes first, if you don't have enough sufficient hardware resources, you don't have multiple application servers, your client is not giving
Small
that
quantity.
many hardware application servers, you don't have that many application servers. If you have multiple application servers, what happens? You will get more work processes. If I'm having 10 application servers, means I'll get more dialogues, more backgrounds. I need not to configure operation mode. That is the reason I'm saying only few customers will configure operation modes. Not all customers will configure operation mode. The total number of operation modes, how many you can configure per a day? The maximum is 96. How? For every 15 minutes, 1 means per hour 4. 4 into 24. 96 operation modes you can configure.
96.
So to configure operation mode, the T code is RZ04. To manually switch operation modes, the T code is RZ03. How to check work process? The T code is for checking the work processes. SM50.
SM50.
What is the dialog work process parameter?
Artist slash makes
Artist
the underscore
slash
WP underscore number
Yeah.
underscore dia. Back,
Yeah.
you have to remember the few parameters. This at least this work process parameters. Okay, and few T codes. For each and every topic, you will get 1 or 2 T codes. By the end of your course, you should able to tell at least 50 T codes. You need not to mug up. If you practice these topics, they'll come and sit in your brain. Definitely. Any doubts?